The 5 big purchases retirees almost always regret. I have all the details and the full list for you right here in the video, so let's get right into it. I know in this video I will be encompassing the 5 big purchases and 5 big regrets by most retirees, but I think we all completely recognize the list is far more expansive than just 5, so I can always make a follow-up video to this one and break down even more big purchases that a lot of retirees make. Now, I do also want to give you a quick story before we get into this example because I think a lot of us can probably relate to what I'm about to share with you right now. Maybe some of us know these people as in their family members, maybe their friends, maybe their acquaintances, maybe neighbors, maybe somebody that we went to school with, maybe it's a friend of a friend, the list goes on, but I think all of us have heard these stories way too many times. And again, why I want to give you this quick story because we will all relate to this and then it'll lead right into the examples and those 5 big purchases that I do want to share with you right here in the video. So in this story, let's call the person Bob. Bob is the guy in my story, okay? We all know a metaphorical Bob out there, right? So Bob works at his job for say 25, 30, 35, maybe even 40 years, putting in the time, earning a nice modest salary during that time, maybe having just enough money to stash away a little bit of savings each and every month. And again, he probably earns a nice salary, nothing huge, nothing too small, but just something to live on, a nice livable wage. Now Bob, after say 30, 35, 40 years, he decides, I've been doing this long enough. I think I'm about to hang up the old working shoes here and head out, enjoy the rest of my life, and go into my retirement, right? Well, first off, congratulations, Bob. That is super exciting. And again, a huge, huge achievement. Just like anybody else that has retired out there, you have certainly put in a lot of time, and it is certainly time for you to enjoy life, relax, and as they say, enjoy the golden years, right? Well, that's what Bob does. He heads out of the workforce and he says, I'm going to go and enjoy my retirement. They've always told me these are the golden years. I'm going to go forward and I'm going to spend some of that money that I've been saving up over the last 30, 35, 40 years that I've been stashing away a little bit here and there. I'm going to go do something that I've always wanted to do. I'm going to buy myself that brand new Corvette I've been eyeing down there on the lot. So Bob heads down, picks up the brand new Corvette that he's always been looking at, drops $100K, but he has his brand new Corvette, right? Well, he drives it home and shows off to all of his neighbors and his friends. He's super excited. Then he pulls it into his garage and thinks, wait, this garage is way too small. I need a bigger house. I've been eyeing that big old shiny house up there on the hill. I think it's only a couple million or something like that. Why don't I go pick up that guy too, right? So Bob goes out and buys that big old shiny house up on the hill, right? And again, obviously I'm exaggerating a little bit here with this story, but at the same time, probably not exaggerating all that much, right? It's all relative, okay? All right, now we fast forward, say 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 years later. You're out at the grocery store, minding your own business, or you're doing whatever you're doing, and all of a sudden you run into somebody that knows Bob, right? The person approaches you and says, hey, nice to see ya. Have you heard about Bob? Wait, Bob, is he okay? Yeah, I know Bob. Is he doing okay? What happened? Is he all right? Oh yeah, he's okay, but he's not doing so well. He's living with his son down on Main Street. Wait, living with his son on Main Street? I thought he was driving that brand new shiny Corvette and living in that huge house up on the hill. Yeah, he was. Not anymore. He lost it all. Wait, Bob lost it all? Bob with the big house? Bob with the Corvette? Yeah, Bob lost it all. He blew his retirement. And again, I know that I'm being a little bit extreme here with this example, but again, how many times have you heard these stories? We've all heard the stories, right? It's a super sad example, but again, this is the reality for a lot of people, okay? A lot of people put a lot of time in working for a long, long time, decades and decades, like I said, 25, 30, 35, 40 plus years, stashing away a little bit and then lose it all in retirement. Now again, I'm not here to instill fear in anybody, but this is the reality. And again, I want to point out some of those purchases now. All right, so let's go through the list that I've gathered here for you, and I want to break down the details of this. And again, I just want to make this very clear. I am never here to tell anybody what to do with your time, with your money, things like that. I never want to influence that, but I do want to point this out as potential pitfalls that we could maybe avoid if possible, okay? All right, so purchase number 1 on my list is a new car, okay? Don't get me wrong. A new car is always kind of a fun thing, right? Especially in this example for Bob, he dropped $100K on a brand new Corvette. He sounds pretty cool. He looks pretty cool. He feels pretty cool. But he's broke, right? He dropped $100K. That probably took him years and years and years, probably 10 plus 20 something like years to save up that $100K that he has dropped in a blink of an eye, right? It's gone, and now he's got a Corvette, right? But again, this is a little bit of an example, but this is something that we hear way too often. Maybe it's a Porsche, maybe it's a Ferrari for some people, maybe it's a brand new Mercedes or Lexus or whatever it happens to be. There's a lot of things like this, and you hear about this way too often where, a purchase is a big old brand new shiny car. And again, don't get me wrong, a new car is great, but do you really need the latest, greatest, most expensive car on the lot? If you can swing it, then by all means, do what you got to do. But I think a lot of times to get from point A to point B, you probably don't need to have the nicest car on the road, right? And again, not here to tell you what to do, but again, that is one of those big purchases out there that retirees go out and say, I'm going to live life to the fullest right now. These are the golden years, and I'm going to go out and buy that big car, and then think, hey, wait, this thing's a gas guzzler. It sucks down the gas. It's expensive. Oh yeah, by the way, maintenance, all the things like this, and insurance is very expensive. Oh yeah, a lot more expensive come with that very expensive car as well, right? So that's number one. Number two, a big house. Just like I explained here in this example with Bob, he pulled his brand new car into the garage and thought, hey, I need to upsize here. A lot of people say I'm going to downsize, but you know what? Some people upsize when they go into retirement because, hey, this is the time. Kids are gone, whatever the situation is. Let's go buy that nice big shiny house up on the hill, right? So a situation like this is, even in the situation where somebody maybe could be fortunate to even pay cash for a house, and again, that doesn't happen all that often, but I'm just saying this much. Even with a cash purchase of a big old shiny house, here's the thing. Remember, there's a lot more expenses that come with that, a lot of things that a lot of people don't take into consideration. For example, property taxes. Property taxes are going to get you, okay? If you're somebody buying a nice, big, shiny, expensive house, property taxes are very expensive. Now, generally, the rule of thumb, property taxes are usually about 1% to 2% of the purchase price. So again, $1 million house is going to be anywhere between $10,000 and $20,000 a year just of property taxes, obviously depending on your location, your state, and a variety of other factors. But again, that is something you want to take into consideration. Next, not only on that, homeowners insurance, very, very expensive. The bigger, the more expensive house you have, the more expensive the homeowners insurance is going to be, because in the event of something going wrong where the whole thing goes up in flames or tornado takes it down or whatever happens, they got to, have that money coming in through the premiums to basically cover all of that, right? Or make sure. So again, homeowners insurance can be very expensive. Now, not only that, think of this: utility prices, gas to heat the home in the winter, electricity to cool the home by AC in the summer. And again, all of the other lights and things like this, it can be very expensive. Again, take all that into consideration, right? So again, not only that, think of this too. You buy a big old shiny house, what do you got to do? You got to fill all the rooms with big, shiny, comfortable furniture, right? That can be very expensive as well. What about all the maintenance? Things like that. Again, it's expensive. It all adds up really, really quickly, all right? So that's number two. Number three, expensive vacations. Now, don't get me wrong. I love to travel. Haven't been able to do much over the last few years, but I really enjoy traveling. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But this is also something that a lot of retirees do, is go off on some very expensive vacation, put it on the credit card and say, I'll pay for it later. Well, credit cards are brutal these days, especially with very high interest rates, and paying that off on a credit card can get really expensive very, very fast. In fact, let me share with you a quick personal story. I know somebody, in fact, somebody that I'm related to does this. Each year, they take their entire family. By the way, this person has 4 kids and a lot of grandkids. They take everybody on a vacation. That's very, very expensive. This person is retired, and they've been retired for maybe like 4 or 5 years or something like that, and they take their whole family. I can't imagine they just have that much money laying around to do that every single year. That's incredibly expensive for what they're doing. There's like 21 people or something in that family, and they all go on one big vacation, and grandpa and grandma pay for it. Again, very expensive stuff, okay? You got to watch out for that. But again, not here to tell you what to do or how to spend your money, but just take that into consideration. If you got the money, if you got the means, then by all means, enjoy life, do what you enjoy. spend your money as you see fit, right? We can't all sit around forever and watch Price is Right all day, right? We can only do that for a little while, but at some point you got to get out and enjoy what you enjoy doing, right? So that is number 3 on my list. Now, next, number 4 is gifts, okay? So gifts is another big one. Now, again, how many times have you heard this? Somebody retires, they're enjoying their retirement, and then they decide, hey, I'm going to buy my kid, a son or a daughter, whatever it happens to be, I'm going to buy my kid a house. I'm going to buy my kid a car. I'm going to take everybody on vacation. I'm going to do whatever, all these gifts, things like this, right? And again, that's great. Being generous is very nice, but at the end of the day, this also adds up a lot, and it can get very expensive very, very quickly, with all these expenses and gifts, things like that. So again, a nice gift, there's nothing wrong with a nice gift, okay? Nothing wrong with that whatsoever, but you got to draw the line at some point, okay? So just take that into consideration. Now, number 5 on my list is toys. Toys, okay? Now, I'm not talking about toys that you're crawling around on the floor with your grandkids and, playing toys and stuff like that. I'm talking about the kind of toys you put in your garage, like a snowmobile, an ATV, what else is there? A jet ski, I don't know, a Jeep, an off-road Jeep for mudding on the weekends and stuff like this. You know what I'm talking about? All these kind of toys like this, the recreational type vehicles that can be very expensive. And again, remember, as much as well as with these things, not only are they expensive to buy, but you've got the upkeep, the maintenance, the storage in the off season, all the things that go along with that, licenses and registrations and all stuff like this. It all adds up and it can get very expensive. Not only that, depends on what kind of machine that you have, things like this, you probably have a trailer. You need to have a bigger vehicle to tow the trailer. And again, the list goes on and on, right? So again, these are just some of the purchases that I wanted to break out for you that a lot of retirees often do regret when it comes into retirement. Now again, you can spend your money on whatever you want. Again, I'm never here to tell anybody what to do with their money, how to spend their money, how to live their life, things like this. But this is unfortunately a lot of the stories that we hear way too many times where somebody goes into retirement, the golden years, and not too many years in, they're broke and they've lost a lot of it, right? Super sad story, especially when somebody spends 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 plus years working for all of it, and it goes fast, right? We know how fast it goes, especially over the last couple of years here with all this massive inflation. We know it goes super fast, right? Money comes in and it goes out very quickly from a lot of people, right? So I think we all know exactly how that goes. Anyway, if there's anything else you'd like me to focus on, things like that, make sure to leave a comment down below. Otherwise, share this video with your friends, family, social media, and make sure to hit that big old subscribe button right down below the video. I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be to help you out as much as I can, to keep you updated, and to talk through all of these complicated topics and point out anything like this that I come across with my daily research. A lot of stuff out there that I want to bring to your attention. Anyway, hope this helps you. Again, please subscribe down below, share the video, and go back and check out any of their thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy your day, take care, have a good one, and I'll catch you again later in